today. I have an interesting topic to talk about tonight. The topic is describe the relationship between sex and gender. According to PlannedParenthood.org online, each of us has a biological sex, whether we are female, male, or intersex. Our gender is our social and legal status as men and women or woman. And sexual orientation is a term used to describe whether a person feels sexual desire for people of the other gender, same gender, or both genders. Each of us has a gender and a gender identity. Our gender identity is our deepest feelings about our gender. We express our gender identity in the ways that we act either masculine, feminine, neither, or both. Some of us are transgender, which means that our biological sex and our gender identity do not match up. Each of us also has a sexual orientation. You may be bisexual, gay, lesbian, or straight, or you may even be questioning, unsure about your sexual orientation. But what is sex? Sex is what you are born as. What sex were you assigned at birth? Performing the genital. The title being imposed by the doctor. It's basically biology. It's either you're male or female or intersex. Gender is how we do our sex. What we want to be seen as in the world. What we're performing the body through clothing, hair, cosmetics, being masculine, being feminine, maybe being both. But what is sex and gender to Kate Bornstein, the author I'm about to talk about? Sexuality? She says, excuse my language, fuck it. Fuck it. Kate Bornstein goes on to say, what does sexuality really hinge on? It is not simply the gender of our partners, but gender can have a lot to do with sex. Gender can be one of your best sex toys ever. Hot mess. Sex is like gender, may be motivated by identity, desire, and power in different and shifting proportions. So the expression of sexuality may include not only the sex act in itself, but also preferred expression of romance, love, partnering, power dynamics, degrees of content, vulnerability, safety, intimacy, community, comfort, social interaction, sensation, morality, spirituality, wisdom, humor, comedy, and compatibility. She then goes on to say, how much of an influence is the gender of you or your partner was assigned at birth? How important is gender identity to you to your sexuality? What expression of your gender makes you feel sexy? And do you like being manly, girly? If you have sex with a partner or partners, what gender expression of theirs is important to you? The main question that stood out to me there is, do you like being manly or girly girl? See, I have a problem with this, and this is where gender comes into play for me, and sexuality. Okay, so I was born with a vagina. My sex is a female. Now, it seems like I dealt with gender growing up as a child better than what I'm doing now. Even though I was born with a vagina and I'm considered a female through the Constitution. I found myself playing basketball a lot with the guys, in the street with 17-year-old guys playing tackle football when I am a 6-year-old girl. And I'm playing football instead of playing with Barbie dolls, which is what people think I should have been doing. More so my mom, who would say, when are you going to start acting like a girl? Why are you acting like a boy? You need to be in the house playing with Barbie dolls, not outside playing with these 17-year-old boys and playing rough. Look at all the bruises you have on your legs. You're not supposed to have bruises on your legs. You're a girl. So that went on, I'd say, all the way till 9th grade in high school. That I felt comfortable. I didn't care what people said. That's what I felt comfortable with. But when I hit 9th grade, that's probably when I started thinking about dating. And, I always thought, like, a girl's supposed to be with a guy. That's what you're taught growing up. That's the norm. That's what you're taught to date. You're a girl, you date a guy. You're a guy, you date a girl. That's the norm. So, of course, I wanted to go with the norm. I didn't want to be singled out. I didn't want to be looked at weird. So, of course, I still had, my gender was still more so of me being more so of a boy. And I was comfortable with that being my gender, even though my gender is different from my sexuality. Until it was time to date. So I had a complete turnaround. When I say I had a complete turnaround, I had a complete turnaround. When I started to realize that guys didn't want anything to do with me when I was boyish. They didn't want to date me. They would say, "Oh, you're good in basketball." Like I was put in the friend zone. And that's where I made a complete turnaround, and I went from putting the basketball up, throwing the jersey away and the tennis shoes away, to getting out nail polish, curling my hair, putting on makeup, wearing dresses because I wanted to be accepted by a boy. And that is my gender now. I am way more girly now. But to think that I actually switched my gender identity just to be accepted by something that the culture told me is what I need to do, is the norm, so I need to follow the norm, is crazy. And I never thought about it until I took this class. That I've switched to a gender identity where I'm not really so much comfortable in, just so I could be accepted. So that totally ties into what I'm going through right now. So at the end of the day, what is sex? Sex is what you're born with. But gender is when it comes to gender, that's when you're able to express yourself. And at the end of the day, I hope I find my way back to where I truly belong. And I need to stop trying to follow the norms and all of that. So, thank you for listening. We'll see what the topic is next. Have a great night.